if you look at how disease has been treated for 50 years, for 100 years, it's basically with a relatively narrow range of pharmaceutical compounds with unpredictable results.
We treat a population of people with a certain drug and say, okay, more than 50% of those responded to that drug, so that's a good therapy.
That's a drug for everybody, but it's not.
It wasn't 100%, and it's never 100% because we're all different.
Each of us has a genome that's roughly 3 billion lines of code.
All of us, our genomes are different. So all of us are susceptible to different types of diseases, different types of cancers, different types of therapies and drugs.
The Human Genome Project took 13 years and cost $3 billion to sequence one genome. And now we can sequence a genome overnight.
We now live in a world where we can take the genetic profile of an individual
and use that to tailor treatment of human diseases. That's what genomic medicine's about.
Genomic medicine is personalized medicine.
The hope is to try to find therapies that can actually target this diabetes and that diabetes, this cancer and that cancer.
The question is translating that science into therapies as quickly as possible. Through the places that it was set up specifically to undertake genetic research before genetic research was cool.
Clarence Cook Little was a Harvard-trained geneticist who founded the Jackson Laboratory with philanthropic support from Edsel Ford and Roscoe B. Jackson of the Hudson Motor Company.
Good morning, Jackson Laboratory.
Over the past 85 years, we've made a number of incredible discoveries.
If you look, for example, at organ transplantation,
Blood transfusions,
in vitro fertilization,
The discovery of stem cells.
all of these, when you go back in time, have a source in the Jackson Laboratory.
We've contributed to somewhere on the order of 25 Nobel Prizes.
The term genomics originated from the Jackson Laboratory. They defined, actually, genomics back in the 80s. A lot of people don't realize that. Yeah. Google it up. You'll find it.
the mice are what helped us get those techniques and set the stage for those medical advances.
The mouse has between 95 and 98% of all the genes that we have. Think about that. It is a model of the human being.
Because we had, over decades, built this incredible repository of information on mouse genomics. We're able to take our insights that we have learned over the past 85 years and bring it to real patients in the real world.
We're particularly interested in the link between obesity and Alzheimer's disease. When we feed a Western diet to mice, their brain lights up as if they're fighting, an infection every day.
In kids, spinal muscular atrophy is devastating. It's incredibly debilitating, and it's always fatal. But we have the gene, we know the mechanism. We really feel like we can get this disease.
Some of the diseases that I study can affect a few hundred patients to a few thousand patients around the world. Well, the fact that we're a nonprofit organization means that we can study rare and orphan diseases that would not be profitable for anybody else to study.
Now that we're in the genome era, we can begin to think about a different way of treating cancer. Cancer cells make mistakes. If we can take away some of their DNA repair capacity, we can actually cause a cancer cell to essentially mutate itself to death.
The immediate relevancy of our science is really palpable because it's so new. We're providing a solution that people are waiting for.
The edge that JAX has is the ability to work directly with human disease, put it immediately into the mouse, scale it up, test it, share it, and get it back to benefiting people. No one can do that as fast as we can, and no one can do that on the scale that we can.
We're dealing with the biggest and most challenging problems known to man. The thing we're short on are the resources to take and translate those discoveries and insights into therapies.
When I came to the Jackson Lab 20 years ago, I could not have predicted that I would be working on research that I think in my lifetime is going to have a positive impact on the way we think about and do patient healthcare.
But it takes my support and it takes your support for the purpose that motivates us, which is the science, the cure, the patient, helping human beings.